Donald Trump has been an anti-China war hawk. Do not get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. Donald Trump has a different strategy than liberals and the neocons, where he's not smart enough to realize that if you want to wage war, that if you want to have conflict, there are propaganda techniques that you must employ, like demonizing and dehumanizing the enemy. Like, Trump don't know about that stuff. Like, he don't know why it's important to paint your enemies as feeble, but also extremely dangerous. So that's why Donald Trump go out there and praises Xi Jinping. But do not get it twisted. He still wants to go to war. He still wants to wage economic hot war. And he will be a tool of the Pentagon when it comes to China. So here's Trump in response to a story I reported on where Emmanuel Macron was like, man, after meeting with Xi Jinping, we need to start focusing on strategic autonomy. We need to become less dependent of the United States. We need to become more independent. We cannot allow ourselves to be drawn in a conflict over Taiwan. This is stuff that Macron said. Then the NATO left Bernie Sanders, AOC, Pramila Jayapal, Rashida Tlaib, Cory Bush, Ilhan Omar. None of them have the balls to say what is obvious, what Emmanuel Macron is saying, what Lula is saying, right? But this is Trump's response to Macron saying that we should not wage war. Europe should not be drawing the war over Taiwan, that we should not give up our sovereignty to the United States. We need seat dependency. So Trump replies to Macron, and Trump says that Emmanuel Macron is pondering to China. What does that say? Guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Now I'm going to be harping on this a lot, especially next year. If you are against the Ukraine war, if you're against never-ending China demonization, Donald Trump is not the candidate. RBN, we are post-duopoly left, and I told you guys many times before, despite Trump's rhetoric on Ukraine and on China, I don't believe him. He's going to do the same thing he did the first time he was elected, say all these good things, and as soon as he gets elected, he's going to hire another Mike Pompeo. Not him, but he's going to hire another one. He's not going to hire John Bolton. He's going to hire another John Bolton. You guys see what I'm saying? Trump is not this intellectual thinker that have these deep geopolitical theories. He is repeating what he heard from Tucker Carlson on Ukraine. And the second that he takes power, he's going to listen to his generals, the Republican generals and advisors that support the Ukraine war in the first start. That's why my gut instinct is Donald Trump is going to be doing the same thing in Ukraine war as Biden is. He's going to wage war on China and escalate against China the same way that Joe Biden is doing. Do not get twisted with these coverage. When I cover stuff the way I do with Trump telling the truth about Xi and China, the point being is, why do we have to rely on Trump to say these things? Why do we have to rely on Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz to say these things? Right? That's the point. And not that he's actually going to do it, is that Bernie Sanders should be making these arguments. So I'm going to see y'all just find the quote. Trump says, you got this crazy world is blowing up and the United States has absolutely no say. And Macron, who's a friend of mine, is over with China kissing his ass. So this is the same interview that liberals in Morning Joe are freaking out about, because he said Xi Jinping is smart. So Donald Trump mixes in anti-China rhetoric in the Tucker Carlson interview. But according to liberals, it wasn't enough. You got to be extremely anti-China, but you cannot ever, in any way, shape, or form, compliment the intelligence of Xi Jinping or Vladimir Putin. So this is Trump showing his hands and how he will govern as president. Just like Joe Biden, he's going to put massive pressure on European allies to separate themselves from China. And I think he's going to do the same with Russia as well. And people might say, well, Trump is talking all this shit about Ukraine. How can he pull that off? I don't know. The same way he did when he was president. Because he was talking all sorts of shit before he became president. And then he became president, he did the exact opposite thing. And then Trump, people still think he's based. So Donald Trump, when he win the presidency, if he does, next election, he's going to double down on Biden's policy, and no one among his base is going to ask any questions. They're not going to give a shit because Trump, like the Democrat Party, is a cult. All Donald Trump has to do is go on Truth Social and then tweet some bad shit about Putin. All he has to do is say that Putin is an enemy of America first, and he can quickly get MAGA on board. Quickly. And that's what's going to happen. That is my prediction.